I am the Fastata. I'm only one of many Fastatas. I hope the kindling is ready to burn, because we are uniting. And because we are uniting, the ones that deserve to burn are gonna burn. So we continue to go about our lives day to day, as we are literally having I make good torches, don't I? As we are literally allowing our cell phones to destroy our DNA, to destroy the molecular particles inside of us. That's what we do. You know, what is so interesting is the cell phone companies are just now coming out going, oh wow, cell phones and all that, microwave energy and all that radiation, it actually might cause cancer. Well, guess what? They actually looked into this stuff, and they knew it back in the 80s and the 90s. And that is one nice freaking torch. Sorry, I can't get over my torch making skills. I apologize. But this is all the stuff that they literally knew of back then, and they even admitted to. But now, they're deciding to act like they've just come to realize this. So we're sitting there, allowing our children, for me, and grandbabies, and, whatever, everybody that I love, to be radiated by our cell phones. I mean, come on, how do you shut up a damn kid in a restaurant? How in the heck do you shut up a damn kid in general? You give him the damn phone or you give him the damn iPad. I understand. I don't say I blame anybody for it. I totally get it. But our biggest problem, which I have this behind me, woo, it's understandable, but the worst part is we don't usually understand what we're doing. If something is an easy way out, and something is easy path, the sad part is, it's usually not the right path. I know, it just seems easy. I don't blame anybody for it. I couldn't imagine constantly having just and just wanting them to shut up. I totally get freaking, here, take the damn cell phone, take the damn iPad. But more than anything, what we've got to literally is make people understand that these things are weapons. This cell phone, this black devil screen that I'm using, and hey, I enjoy being able to have it to use. It is a very, very great tool to have, and I appreciate being able to have it. Appreciate my torch too. Yeah. It's just really disturbing and really sad that we just continue to allow ourselves to literally be fried. I mean, every atom in your body is being split and destroyed because of these damn things. I mean, how many freaking cases that I've seen, girls always put their damn cell phones in their bra next to their, boobies, which I think is really is a sin, because I think, I'm sorry, I'm only a man, but I think one of God's greatest attributes that he ever gave to womankind was their beautiful boobies. But they end up putting it there, the same phone, for years in a row, and then they end up having breast cancer, and they have breast cancer right in the spots where the antennas are on your phone, because there's actually quite a few antennas on your phone. Most people don't know that. But there's usually at least 3. And that's where they will get the cancer. And that is just the saddest part. This is a known fact. And we allow it to happen. And they allow it to happen. And then they claim stupidity that they had no idea about it. no matter what, any invention that is ever made, they do testing on it. I'm not going to say they always do enough testing, but they do testing. You can look this up yourself, do your own damn research if you've got any soul. That they literally knew what these things were going to do in the 80s and 90s. So what did they do? Did they try to make it safer? Did they try to do anything? No. They just mass-produced it and made sure that there isn't a freaking walking Tom, Dick, or Harry that does not have one. And if you don't have one, especially as a kid that's about 12 to 13, oh my goodness, you're not a cool kid, and you're pretty much ostracized. Because either people think you're too poor to have a cell phone, or the kids just think your parents are assholes, and yeah, that's what you get. It is such a sad factor in this world. And that is just a nice freaking torch. Sorry, I can't get over my torch. I got torch madness, people. It is just such a sad factor of our lives that we cannot seem in any way to understand that everything that is happening to us and everything that we're allowing to happen is upon us. Of course, there are, the demon assholes that are, actually perpetuating it. But we may not have opened Pandora's box, but we sure in the hell fuel Pandora's box. I'm fueling it right now. I'm looking at the Devil Black screen. I'm looking at the Pandora's box right now. Just like you. That is the saddest part. We've opened Pandora's box and we can't shut it. And, if you know anything about mud fossils, you know anything about history, well, pretty much you know anything about anything, you probably realize that we've been here before. We've blown ourselves up, this, that, or the other thing. Whether it was the flood, and I think we've been stymied more than once since the flood. I will admit to that from what I've learned and what I've researched and what I've come to find. But how else do you close Pandora's box without pretty much putting people back to the Stone Age? There is no way. What I think is really crazy, though, and what I've come to kind of realize and understand is that just as Pandora's box was closed, or at least for the most part sealed up, doesn't mean that there wasn't the ones that survived through it that kept the knowledge. And I think that is one of the biggest things that we are fighting against. As God says, we don't fight against flesh, we fight against principles and principalities. And, it's funny because I've said that to people, and they're like, well, what does that mean? Well, look at David Hogg. That's what it means. It is so sad that in no way does it seem that we're ever going to be able to close Pandora's box without stopping and turning everything back. And I'm not saying that I want that, but, would it be the most horrible thing? It's funny, I whether I'm an old soul, whatever you might want to call it, I enjoy watching some Gunsmoke, some freaking Andy Griffith, because it just, you look at it and you're you realize that the world, and I ain't going to say Andy Griffith is in Gunsmoke is the freaking pinnacle of obviously what reality was. But to a point, that was what society was and what people loved, understood, enjoyed, and respected. And for us to ever get back to that without a complete restart is, I'm not going to say impossible, but it sure in the hell feels like it's impossible. I don't know how it can be done. Pandora's box has been opened. And there is no shutting it. I mean, that's pretty kind of biblical. it just really hurts my heart and my soul because, like, I worry not for myself. Like, I worry not. But for the ones that I love, those little grandbabies, it is funny. The person that I was somebody that cared nothing except for myself. And I cared nothing except for the excitement of what I wanted to do and what I could do. I mean, I didn't do every drug that there was. I never did heroin or freaking any of that crap. But I pretty much, dabbled and tested all drugs. And, the greatest drug that I ever came across was literally the first time you get a girl in bed. And she lets you, when you go to take her panties off, and she arches your back. And the first time you pull a girl's pants off for the first time, oh my goodness, the greatest high. I've never, like I said, done lots of drugs, lots of coke, lots of whatever. The greatest high I've ever gotten in my whole life was when that girl that you've never had sex with before, when she arches her back up so that you can pull her panties off. No greater high in my whole life that I'd ever known. Well, until quite recently. The love of the Father is a really nice high. It's not the same type of high, but it is a very beautiful high. It is amazing for somebody like me to change from who I was and what I considered was a worthwhile night of getting a new girl or this or that or whatever you want to call it. That was the greatest high ever, and that's all that I strive for, and that's all that I cared for. Go to the bar, play pool. Oh, and I piss people off. I play one-handed. Oh, man. But you go to the bar, pick up on some girl, take her home, and that was like the highlight of what was the greatest thing in my life. And I had no qualms about it. I loved it. It's just amazing when, I come to realize and think of now of how small, puny, and pathetic that was. At that given time and that given moment, I didn't look at it as that. I looked at it as, like I said, the greatest high and the greatest, accomplishment that there was for that night and for my life. And, how sad is that when that's what sustains you and makes you happy, is something so pathetically immature as that. Trust me, if you're sitting there going, yeah, that is pathetic, trust me, I know. I'm the one that did it and the one that actually came to the understanding of how pathetic I was for it. But to come to the understanding that I have now and seeing what it is, and that I can't say that I know everything or that I even know anything. But the one thing that I do know is how much I've changed. And I can never give enough credit to the woman that I'm with. She is my goddess. She is my everything. And I, in no way, think that I could have ever come to grow to be the person that I am without her love. I mean, I trust me, I've been in love with many women, and I knew they're in love with me because they're damn freaking willing to freaking kill over me. You kind of know you're loved then, right? But I never had the love that I had from her that made me love myself, if that makes any sense. And it is the greatest gift that the Father has ever given me. And, when I think about it, sometimes it just makes me want to bawl. And I go, why? Why do I deserve this? From who I was and who I've been. Why do I deserve this? And, if you look anything about history, you look anything of the Bible, God doesn't always choose the most purest of people to be his soldiers, his generals, his sergeants. He has to pick among the people to fill his flock. And some of those people have to be people that have seen the other side and been a part of the other side. Because people like that have seen it, I mean, just like all the kids nowadays, they see communism and they think it's like the cool and right thing to do, because they think that they're going to get free money and everybody will get the same amount, and that, all the rich people will have to give them money. No, sorry, in communism, if you don't work, you die. It's insanity. But it's kind of along those lines of just that insanity of thinking something, but you never really know it until you've lived through it, and then you realized how wrong and stupid it was. I mean, you can look at any communist that was a communist, that stopped being a communist, and trust me, they will be one of the first people to be like, look, I've already been there, I was already brainwashed, and I've come out of that, and I will tell you. And those are the ones, seriously, that you want to listen to about communism. Because these are the people that actually believed in it, saw it, felt it, dealt with it, and then came to realize, holy crud, what was I thinking? And sometimes I think that might be along the lines of the same rhyme and reason that I ended up going through, the parts of my life that I ended up going through and being, was so that I could realize how lucky I was. Look at that sucker. Dude, we're almost at 20 minutes. If this thing flames till 20 minutes, I'm going to be damn proud. It is amazing the difference of understanding that you can have once you've actually lived through something that you thought was right. And then you come to realize how wrong and how much of a deception that it was. Like I said, the greatest high I've ever had in my life was, I don't need to say it again, do I? I thought that was the greatest high that I had ever had in my life. And this thing is on its death throes, but it's still going. I never thought or saw how there could be anything better or greater than that. Until I saw my grandbabies smile at me. And I saw them happy. Oh, that was it. Until I saw the smiles on their faces, and I realized that I actually had a true rhyme and reason to be on this plane of existence. And I can't say that I'm anything special, that I'm going to save them, that I'm going to change their minds, that anything like that. But I finally came to the realization of that my life really meant nothing. And what did mean something was, by the time that I leave this place, that I, in every way that I can, try to leave it a better place than I found it. And that is one thing that probably scares me more than anything, is not accomplishing that. Because if I can't accomplish that, who am I? What am I worth? Why am I here? Why do I deserve to be here? Because I don't really see a more rhyme and reason for this life than to actually try to make it something better than I found it. And when you come along to have that kind of understanding of this life, it really it changes a lot. I know I'm kind of ranting and raving here, but if you have not found that in your life yet, I beg of you to find what that is for you. Because I'm not going to say what I have, what I was able to be lucky enough to get and be blessed to be given. It's the same thing for everybody else. Everybody will have their own rhyme and reason of what this world makes beautiful. And one thing I will ask you to look upon me, in the aspect of what I thought was the most greatest gift and the greatest high and the greatest thing in the world, when really it was nothing. There is nothing, there is no greater high than watching little Gianna eyes light up when she sees me and run at me to give me a hug. Say, Johnny, Johnny, Johnny. That, I don't know what greater high there is than to see the eyes of the future staring at you, loving you, caring about you. And you understand, and it is hard to have that sick emotion inside of you of realizing how screwed up the world is, and you realize that they have such a horrible, hard, uphill battle to fight because of what this world is. And you wonder, how am I going to make it better? How am I going to make them smart enough to understand? How am I going to make them be able to see? And it is a very hard task ahead of you, wondering things like this. But you must realize that we are living in a game. We are playing a game. Would the game be worth playing if it was not hard? No, it would not be. So one thing that I must tell you, all my brothers and sisters, I love you all, but one thing that you must understand, everything that has happened to you in this life, it has happened to you for a reason. It has happened to you for a reason to make you who you are, to make you strong enough to deal with what you must deal with. Because guess what? The war is here, and the war is coming, and the battle is ahead of us. You must come to the realization that your head will be cut off and that you may be crucified. Whichever it may be. You need to come to the understanding where that does not scare you and that does not worry you. Because once you've allocated yourself to realizing that your head will be cut off, that you will be crucified, once you've come to that allocation of that understanding and you are proud of it, there is nothing else that they have to hold over your head. There is nothing that they can use to scare you. And once you have that, you have the power. That's what they're scared of. Don't let them scare you. The only person that should ever scare you is yourself. And once you get over that, and that understanding of what your end will be, and you can be proud of it, I promise you, you will never feel like you've been set free any more than in that moment. Because that moment is the beginning of your life. I love you all, my brothers and sisters. Never forget, we are the true resistance. We will not be stopped. We will not ever give up. Because the future is at stake. And we are the watchmen. And we will blow the trumpets as loud as we can.